Hello everyone, and welcome to ArtDroid 29 Productions. I'm the one who speaks, and I'll be your narrator today. This is part 1 of What If Deku Was the Blue Beetle. Will there be a part 2? That's up for you to decide. Our adventure begins inside the lobby of a very busy building. All over the place were people wearing suits, rushing towards their next meeting, on the phone with someone else, and people in lab coats moving large boxes of lab equipment and office supplies. But in the very center of the lobby, where you would expect to see those in business venture, was a large group of middle school children, being led by a couple of teachers and businesswomen who worked for the company. Welcome, Aldera Junior High, to Japan's very first location for Cord Industries. You are all very lucky. Today you will be given a tour of our facility, where you will see what we truly do here. Behind the crowd of students stood none other than Izuku Midoriya, who was struggling to stay even remotely still due to the excitement of being able to see Cord Industries firsthand. The owner and founder of the company was none other than Ted Cord himself, aka the Blue Beetle, a man who, despite being quirkless, decided to use his intellect and resources to make gadgets that could help the world in more ways than one. Being quirkless himself, Midoriya looked up to the man. After all, he didn't let such a thing stop him from being a hero, so why should he? The students were walking through the facility before arriving at some sort of observation deck. And this is where Mr. Cord works on his hero gadgets. Unfortunately, he doesn't seem to be in there right now, but that doesn't mean there's nothing else to see later on. Is that so? Ah, Mr. Cord, you scared me. In front of them all stood a middle-aged, auburn-haired man wearing a blue hero suit with a belt that seemed to be short-circuiting. My apologies. I thought I'd give this cloaking tech a quick spin, although it's quite obvious there's still a few kinks I need to work out. Allow me to thank you all for being here today. I've been wanting to open an official office abroad for quite some time now, and I'm honored to have you all here to see it firsthand. Excuse me, Mr. Cord? In the back of the crowd, the class could see Midoriya shoving his hand in the air, just dying to ask a question. Quiet, Midoriya. Hey now, nothing wrong with being eager. What's your question, son? Do you think anyone could be a hero, regardless of whether or not they have a quirk? Of course I do. Anyone can be a hero. All they need to have is a desire to help people and be willing to push through any obstacles. As if! Everyone turned to see the spiky-haired blonde who attempted to put Midoriya down. Bakugo, don't even think about it. Oh, please! Without his money and gadgets, there's no way he'd be able to be a hero. Well, to each their own opinion. The hero turned to face Midoriya once more. What's your name again, son? I'm Izuku Midoriya, sir. Well, Izuku, let me be the first to say I'm excited to see how far you go. A word of advice, don't let people bully you into giving up on your dreams. Those people are just insecure and jealous. What the hell did you say? The explosive teen had attempted to lunge towards the pro hero, but thankfully his teacher and a couple classmates were able to hold him back. Outside, now! My apologies, Mr. Cord. The tour went on like any other tour, up until the class stopped for a lunch break. Whilst eating the lunch he had packed for a trip, Midoriya was approached by a surprise visitor whose very presence made him almost choke on his meal. Izuku, right? No, wait, you go by last names here, right? So you're Midoriya? Standing before Midoriya was none other than the Blue Beetle himself, Ted Cord. Yes, sir. Mind if I join you? You want to eat lunch? With me? Of course. The heroic scientist sat in front of Midoriya and began to make conversation. So, have you got any after-school activities? No, sir. Hobbies? Studying heroes. It's lame, I know. Listen, I want to offer you something. How would you like to intern here? Help me around here and whatnot.
Really? That would be amazing.
Really? You got a spark, kid. I admire that. Stop by after school. We'll see what we can do. The rest of the field trip went on just like any other. The next day, Midori arrived at Cord Industries, sweating bullets.
Oh, oh man. This is really happening.
The teen nervously walked towards the front desk where a receptionist sat, staring at the computer.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
I'm here to speak to Mr. Cord. He told me to come by after school.
Name?
It's
Ah! Izuku Midoriya. Great to see you. Follow me, we'll get you started.
So, what exactly am I going to be doing? I'm assuming most likely bringing you coffee and running errands?
Kid, you couldn't be farther from the truth. The two arrived at Ted's lab to be greeted by a large assortment of gadgets, equipment, and a giant beetle-shaped aircraft.
Whoa!
Pretty amazing, huh? Before we start, grab some goggles from over there. Safety first. The boy did as instructed. However, something happened along the way that he was completely oblivious to. A bright blue light began emitting from inside a small metal case.
So I didn't imagine it after all. Did you say something, Mr. Cord?
Yeah, I said these screws are extra small. I gotta make sure I don't lose them.
Okay.
The two spent the rest of the evening doing small tasks around the lab, mostly sorting through things and organizing them and then putting them away. But the whole time Ted had been fixated on a small metal case from earlier. Something about Midoriya caused whatever was inside to activate and caused the container to move. Ted finished placing the last container where it should be before wiping the sweat off his forehead. Whoa, that was a lot. You can head home. Same time tomorrow, Midoriya?
Yes, sir, Mr. Cord.
You know what? Let's forget the formalities. Just call me Ted.
Okay, Ted. I'll see you tomorrow.
As Midoriya left the lab, Ted opened up the case and began to examine what was inside. A small, blue, bug-shaped metallic object. Why is it that you have been dormant for so many years, but the moment that boy came along, you activated? What are you hiding from me, Scarab? Over the next 5 months, Ted monitored both Midoriya and the Scarab, hoping to figure out what about the boy interests the Scarab so much. The boy wasn't athletic, had no powers or anything to make him stand out, so why the Scarab would briefly activate would remain a mystery. Midoriya, however, was completely unaware of the object. As far as he was concerned, Ted was simply taking him under his wing. Over time, the two even formed a strong friendship, with Ted even being invited to dinner by Inko.
Wow, Miss Midoriya. This is without a doubt the best Odin I'd ever had.
Oh, Mr. Cord, stop it. You're too kind. So how are things going at the company?
We're getting a lot of work done, with both my support gear and technology that can improve people's lives. Without Izuku's help, I wouldn't have gotten it done so fast. Your son is a godsend. He's going places. There's no one else I could have trusted to help.
One day, whilst the two were working on Ted's signature aircraft, the Blue Beetle Bug, Ted asked Midoriya an important question. So, Midoriya, why exactly do you want to be a hero? I mean, wouldn't you rather have an easy and quiet life? Screwdriver.
To tell you the truth, no. Knowing that I could stop evildoers, put a smile on people's faces, and help them overcome their fears make me happy.
I gotta admit, that's pretty admirable. You need to put in a lot of work, a heck of a lot of work. Say, how about... Before the pro hero could finish what he was saying, an alert came through on his watch.
Darn it. I gotta go help some other heroes with the car chase. Meet me here tomorrow, kid.
Ted put away his toolbox, ran towards his aircraft, and flew out of the building, leaving Midoriya in awe at seeing the bug in action. The next day arrived, and Midoriya just entered the Cold Industries parking lot. Unfortunately, Midoriya wouldn't make it in time. An explosion went off in the building, loud enough to destroy a chunk of it, sending shards of glass and debris flying in different directions, and people fleeing in terror. Midoriya nervously observed the situation until he realized that Ted was still inside.
Mr. Cord!
The boy pushed through the crowds of people and stormed into the burning building, covering his mouth to avoid breathing in the smoke.
Mr. Cord! Ted! Can you hear me?
With enough endurance, he had made it to Ted's lab, equipment scattered everywhere and burned, with Ted pinned to the floor thanks to some rebar that had pierced through his stomach.
Midoriya! It's going to be okay. We're going to get you out of here and... Oh, crap, you're hurt real bad. Okay, just help me pull this thing out, okay? You ready?
Midoriya wrapped his hand around the bar, pulling once Ted gave him the signal. Unfortunately, it would hardly budge.
Stop!
Ted grabbed Midoriya's shoulder gently, before looking him in the eyes.
I'm not going to make it. But you can. The metal box. Do you see it?
Midoriya looked around and saw the object in question laying on the floor with minor damage.
Take it and run. You can't let anyone get their hands on it. I can't leave you. Please.
Midoriya began crying, his tears falling onto his mentor's chest.
Please. Promise me that you will guard it with your life. I can't. No. Don't trust anyone else. I promise. Before you go, I want to tell you, you're going to be an amazing hero.
Ted slowly closed his eyes, using his last breath to encourage his protege before passing away with a smile on his face.
Goodbye.
Midoriya shoved the metal case into his bag and ran out of the building, leaving a trail of tears in his wake. Once outside, an even larger explosion went off inside the building, creating a shockwave strong enough to send Midoriya and the nearby onlookers back a couple feet. When he hit the ground, Midoriya heard something break in his bag. In a panic, he pulled out the metal case and saw that the lock had broken from the impact. With so much adrenaline flowing through his body, he threw the case back into his backpack and ran home, unaware that the scarab that was in there had activated and started clawing its way out of the fabric prison. Midoriya wasn't even 5 minutes away from the scene before he felt something sharp puncture the skin of his back and lock itself in place.
Ah!
The teen fell to the ground in pain, having no clue what the origin of this feeling was coming from. Looking down, he saw a strange material beginning to cover his body with the shape itself while simultaneously changing color. It didn't even take a whole minute for the entire body to be encased in this unknown substance before he had calmed down and not felt any pain or discomfort.
What the hell?
Midoriya looked at his hands, both of them being completely covered in black armor with flattened fingertips.
What the hell?
In a panic, he began patting himself down, feeling the strange armor he found himself wearing.
No. This has to be a dream.
The flustered teen attempted to hold his hair in shock, only to realize that his head was covered by a helmet that filtered his voice. Looking in the reflection of a nearby window, Midoriya finally saw what he looked like. He was wearing a black and blue suit of armor, with a strange helmet and a bug-shaped backpack attached to him.
Get it off! Get it off! Get it off!
Midoriya tried to pull the helmet off, but it wouldn't budge an inch. The entire armor was almost like a second skin. Host acquired.
Who the hell said that?
Wings and miniature engines manifested from the bug-shaped device on his back, sending the teen soaring through the air and, to his surprise, into outer space. In a matter of minutes, no less. Please remain calm, Izuku Midoriya.
Remain calm? How am I supposed to remain calm? What the hell are you?
Ignoring the frightened boy's question, the robotic voice continued to speak. Heart rate slightly higher than preferred, a normal for a first-time user for a scarab. Emotional patterns seems to indicate nervousness and fear, along with sadness. Inactive for an undesirable amount of time. Rebooting systems is required.
Reboot.
The boy proceeds to fly towards the Earth, at a speed that was fast enough to cause his armor body to briefly catch fire before entering the planet's atmosphere. The sight of the building filled the teen with some relief, but would quickly be put to rest when he showed no clear signs of slowing down.
We're going to crash! Hey, scary computer guy! I said we're going to crash! Stop!
Midoriya suddenly stopped mid-air, feeling a rush of adrenaline and relief at not potentially tearing apart a building, not realizing the wings and engines retracted back into the armor.
Oh, thank God! Now, take me. Oh, crap! Ah!
Falling towards the ground at a rapid pace, Midoriya covered his face with his hands before suddenly remaining still. Moving his hands out of the way of his eyes, the boy realized he had been hovering just a few centimeters off the ground, the wings and engines returning at the almost last second. Flight systems fully functional.
Please, tell me it's over.
Midoriya hit the floor, then dusted himself off before realizing that people had been watching him.
Hi.
Not long after awkwardly waving to the onlookers, the voice returned. Rebooting defense systems.
Not now!
Midoriya looked down at his hands, his left hand becoming a large blade while his right seemed to be a wrecking ball of some sort.
Whoa! No! Bad, scary robot thing! I gotta get out of here.
The panicked teen tried running away. Unfortunately, he wasn't looking where he was going, resulting in him running into oncoming traffic where a car was speeding towards him.
Ah!
While screaming, two large shields manifested in each hand, his body moving on its own and combining the two in one, causing the car that was about to hit him to crash without a single scratch on Midoriya.
Okay, that was cool, I guess. Sorry about your car, mister. Ah!
Once again, the teen flew away, still having almost no control of his body.
Enough! Please, just take me home!
Analyzing. Destination acquired. Meanwhile, Inko was at home in front of the TV, watching the events of what happened at Court Industries unfold as she desperately held her phone in her hands.
Come on, Zuko. Answer me!
The woman's plea for her son to be safe would be put on hold when suddenly, out of nowhere, an armored figure came crashing through her living room wall.
Oh, man, that's not good. Philip! Huh?
Midoriya turned to see his mother wielding a broom. Before anything could be said, she immediately began to hit him repeatedly. However, the boy didn't feel a thing thanks to his armor.
Get out of my house, you fiend! Hey, Mom, it's me! Izuku? Listen to me. Don't freak out, but... Oh, crap.
The armor began to disappear in the scarab, as Midoriya passed out on the living room floor, absolutely naked. Inko ran to her unconscious son's side, praying that he was okay.
Izuku?
This is where we shall leave the story for right now. If you enjoyed the episode, please feel free to like and share. Also, if you're new to the channel, feel free to subscribe so that you can keep up to date with future uploads. Thank you and have a good day.